Hey, how you doing? This is Kitch, and you are watching me play Factorio Uncut. In the last episode, we got some of this taken care of. It's not quite fully up to standard yet, up to code, but it is certainly working for us. I do want to take some time this episode and go ahead and set military science up. I think we're at the point now where we can kind of take advantage of that. So we will. I don't think there's any reason not to just put it right here on the other side of our mall. Seems a good place as any. Put in some spaces there. And we're going to need to get a line here because we're expanding out to our next level of science. Our military science is going to come on that line right there up the old science bus. So let's go ahead. We'll prepare for that. And let's see. Let's go ahead and look through our supplies here and see what we have. We have a ton of assembly machines, which is good. We have some inserters. Let's get some regular ones too, just because I like to have some in case of a rainy day. Long-handeds, we do not have very many of those. Let's go ahead and grab some of those as well. Power poles, we could probably switch over to doing the mediums, since those are being made in an automated fashion right now, and we'll kick the wooden power poles to the curb, unless we find a place where we actually need those. Belt-wise, we have red belt. We have that stocked up, but I don't think I'm at the point now where we really need to start using it. We may get there here soon, but I'm going to go ahead and just do stuff with yellow for now. It's extremely easy to upgrade now since we have the upgrade planner once we get robots. And we've got some extra science here. I'm just going to, for now, throw it in the end here. Just going to throw it in this factory's inventory slot, basically, and it'll just drain that out onto the line. You can place it down on the belt manually. You can put it in those. I'm just going to put it right there. All right, all looks well. Well, let's go ahead. We'll roll the intro, and on the other side, we will start working on some military science. And it's a very serious allegation, and it hurts just a little bit. The problem with the whole thing is that if you just do a Google search and understand how dates work, you can see that it's just completely wrong. But anyway, that is not important right now. What is important is taking a look at some military science. So I'm just going to set up some factories here just so we can get a look at what we need to do in order to make these occur. So military science, we are going to create, the recipe takes 10 seconds, requires 1 piercing round, 1 grenade, and 2 wall. And another little interesting thing about this recipe, if you look at the very top of the tooltip there, it says 2 times military science packs. So every time this recipe runs, it's actually going to create 2. So we're getting double output here. So for 10 a second, or for 1 a second, we would need 10 machines, but we only need 5 of those because we divide that by 2 since we're creating 2 of those. And I'm not taking the crafting speed into account yet. We will get to that here shortly. I'm just going to pretend like this has a 1 crafting speed, and we'll just get our number of machines here going. Then we are going to need grenades. Grenades take 8 seconds. So we need 1 a second, basically, to go along with our... because these require 1 a second. But we don't need 8 because we actually need half of that because these are a 2-for-1. So 4 machines making grenades. That will do that. So again, for 1 a second, we need 5 because these are... we're basically dividing that by 2. And for 1 a second here, we would need 8 machines, but we divide that by 2, since we only need half of those because these are 2-for-1s. Clear as mud. Clear as mud. All right, so the next thing we need are piercing round magazines. Those make at 3-second crafting time. For 1 a second of those being made, we would need 3 machines. However, we're dividing it by 2 again, so that would be 1.5 machines. And since you can't have 1.5 machines, we're going to have to do 2 of those. And these require firearm magazines, which are the regular yellow bullets. And 1 second crafting time, so one of these can support 3 machines, so 1 is going to be more than enough. And then we've got our wall, which is a 0.5 second crafting time. I think 1 machine is going to work for that as well. So this is the number of machines we would need to support 1 science a second on military science if these machines had a crafting speed of 1, but they don't. It's a crafting speed of 0.75. So we can make some adjustments here. We've got 5, and we divide that by 0.75. That gives us 7, or basically 7 machines that we would need to get our actual goal. So that's 5, 6, 7. The thing about these ratios and why you can set it up like this is that they scale really well. If we get the number of machines that we need and then just upgrade them all to a higher tier, the ratio still works machine-wise across the board, as long as your assembly machines are all the same type. Now, if we did that up here, if we upgraded all these to blue, we would no longer be making 1 a second. We'd be making a lot more than that. But the ratio of machines wouldn't change. You'd still have to adjust belts and things like that for inputs, but as far as that, the number of machines would actually be just fine. All right, so for 0.75 for the grenades, we would need 6 machines making these. For the ammunition, or for the piercing rounds, it's actually 1.5 machines divided by 0.75 equals, we need 2 of those. That works out. This should go good, and I think our walls are going to be able to keep up with that just fine. These things just create so fast. All right, so there's our number of machines that we need. Now we need to get all this situated in a way that makes sense. You require iron, you require copper, steel, and these just require stone bricks. You require iron, so you can be on the same level. And you just require what these guys make. Okay, so if we started making grenades up here, just remember we need 7 of those machines. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You made regular ammo. You make piercing ammo, and actually that needs to be adjusted a bit. Need to be 1 off so we can direct feed that. If we got a line of coal and iron coming in through here, and I think we can use regular inserters for this because you guys should be slow as molasses. Five iron plate, 10 coal. We'll go ahead and do a fast inserter for you. You will need to direct feed into those. And we'll take you maybe like right there. Actually, let's put... Okay. Rethinking this. Let's make you make wall. You make piercing. You make regular. And you make piercing. Then we could bring in a stone line just right here, and then this line down here. You need steel and copper. All right. Rethinking things here again. I'm going to take this an extra spot down so we can run another input line coming in right here. That'll basically have steel and copper on it. We keep all our inputs in here. This one still remains stone brick. Okay, wall. Regular rounds, piercing rounds, piercing rounds, piercing rounds. You feed there, you feed there, you feed there. You're going to need some of that goodness. You're going to need some of that goodness, and that is actually going to be a long-handed inserter. That creates at 1 a second. Your swing time is 432 degrees a second, so that should be able to keep up with that, provided you only need 1 iron, and you need 4. All right, so let's just double up that. Okay, that'll be good. If you spit out there, you could spit out to a line that comes down. And I could make a line like this. And you would be on the inside of the belt. Piercing rounds would be on the outside of the belt. So this would be a belt of those, the wall as well as the ammunition. And you guys could spit out a belt up here. That would be our grenades. And let's see, can we make this work? Not quite. We could get the wall there, but you wouldn't be able to get the piercing rounds. All right, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. Putting this underground here is silly, but it'll certainly work. We'll take that that way. We'll take that that way. And then we'll get, what was it, 7? Of you guys making military science. And we're going to have to rerun those belts because that is not going to work. That will work right there, though, provided you can make it over here and curl around like that. Certainly not the compactest setup I've ever made. The problem being is that I do want to set these up so we can get military science being made on one side of the belt and then set up our blue science makers right there just so they can share that belt. It's probably not important, but it is to me. Otherwise, we could basically do that anywhere, really. Let's explore that a bit. That's going to be an input. That's going to be one of our input lines. We need 7 of these. What if we just did that? What if we just did that right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we take you guys on down, and then we just continue this line on down to feed in those machines. This line right here should be okay. We could take that up right here. That could be an input line for you guys. And we take all this out. And then instead of sending out on a yellow inserter, we'll just send that out to a red inserter. That'll be right there, and then we can do this right here, so that'll come in on one side of the belt, and then we can still do our blue machines on a line right here and get one belt for science. And I think I like that better. I think I like that just a little bit better. Okay, just make sure we've got all of our inputs and outputs here. I think all of this looks fine. Let's go ahead and just run this out. Is there any reason why we don't just do it right next to it? I don't think there's not a reason why we don't do that. That's going to be this line right here. Coming up like that. Stupid power pole. Stupid load-bearing power pole. There we go. Military will come in right there. That does not need to be there, and we put a little extra space in between those, but I'm not too worried about that. All right, power. Power. All right, and that should work, right? At some point, I want to upgrade our bus line to a different type of power pole. Mediums just seem to be a little bit better for that. Okay, so that's going to be an output belt. This needs to be iron and coal. This needs to be copper and steel. And I'm hoping we've got enough iron and coal to run this. I'm not doing the calculation. I should be, but I'm not. And that is very rarely a good idea. Because I want it to work really bad. And I don't want to be disappointed. Okay, so if we've got a coal line coming in right here, that is going to come basically right there. Here, let's just bring it out. Come across like that. That'll need to go under there. You will move on. You will move on. Okay, and then the next one is going to be steel and copper, and that one's going to have to come down one or up one. No, it has to come down one. So that needs to be right there, but we can't pull off there. That's the earliest we'll be able to pull off copper. Steel. That'll come there. You'll come straight in. This will need to scroll up that way. And then our stone line, are we going to be able to... No, we're not. We're going to have to do something squirrely with that as well. But that'll come in right here. Come up and just direct feed into that. We'll take gears down. It's kind of playing with my head a little bit because you used to require... the military science recipe used to have turrets in it, which require gears and copper, and I'm still wanting to build that setup, even though it's totally not needed anymore. Output priority on that splitter, those splitters, and that splitter. We don't need circuits at all for this build. Let's continue them on down, and boy, that was a big mess. You come on down. You come on down. There. And this is the stone line. Do we need stone bricks for anything else? Purple science requires stone. We need electric engines, which require stone. Yeah, okay, so something else does require those. That's all military science. Do we have any other red-green? I just want to go ahead and finish that up, if we can. All right, and then we'll just have military after that, I believe. Night vision. Solar panels. All right. Boy, that time is going to be just about perfect. Coal. Do we need coal for anything else? I'm not sure. Let's just stop running it. Because I think we might be done with it. I'm probably not. Probably not. All right, but you should be getting stuff now. Okay, what are we missing? Oh, coal needs to be hooked up right there as well. There we go. Okay, we're getting a problem here in that we're not filling up our machine fast enough. That may be something we need to address. I'm not going to necessarily address it right now, but we will definitely need to address it in the future. All right, just check up on it to make sure it's doing all right. Okay, you guys are starting to get coal now, so you can start making grenades. And you have wall, you just require the grenades. We were missing coal for that. That actually, we want that to be on the other side of the belt, so we don't need to do any belt trickery here. This will work just as is, because we want that to be on the bottom of the belt, because the blue is going to place on the top. And it'd be nice if these guys could output, or could get input of grenades. All right, and there we go, black science on the line. Fantastic. All right, well, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. That gets military science going. It looks like wire circuits falling behind because we're low on copper. We are low on copper, but you know what? We should have a good supply of steel furnaces in here. Maybe we look into upgrading our smelting setup and get copper filled out. Possibly add some more miners. What do miners require? Iron plate, iron gears, and electronic circuits. A. That is something I wouldn't mind making in the mall. I tell you what, for now, let's use this space for it. Is that going to work? Gears, iron plate, electronic circuits. Yes, it is. There, and there. And let's limit that to maybe like 3 stacks. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next episode where, yeah, I think I definitely want to do the expanded smelting columns. Yeah, copper's looking terrible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.